Yeah, hi everyone. Okay, I'll be starting with the session soon. Okay, I hope people have joined, and those who have not, I just wish they would join in another 1 or 2 minutes so that we can start our session. Okay, till then, can I get a quick hi and hello, or maybe yes, mentioning that I'm clearly audible and visible to you as well? Yep, okay. Rahul, Vibhuti, hello. Yeah, hi. Kuresh, hi. Okay, so it means I'm clearly audible to you guys. So, okay, I'll get started with the session. So, hi, this is Pragya, and I'm working in Great Learning as a senior researcher, and I'm here to today talk to you people about few concepts of Java programming. That is, I'll be talking about basics of Java programming. Okay, so let me just tell you that this session is going to be helpful to those people who are learning Java programming or who have interest into this. So because along with the basic concepts, I'll also be discussing some programming constructs which generally people miss or they don't pay much attention to. So, and guys, the session is going to be really, really interactive. Like, it's not like I'll just dictate everything and then at the end I'm going to ask questions to you. I will be asking, in between also, like anything which I'm going to explain you, first I'll get an answer from you people, and then I'm going to, answer it as well. So stay tuned to the session and listen to whatever I'm saying carefully so that you can, listen to the questions as well and answer accordingly. Yes, okay. So a lot of replies on the chat. I'm really happy that you people are quite interactive over here. Okay, so let's get started and let's enjoy the session throughout. So what all I'm going to discuss under basics of Java programming, let me tell you that first. So I'll talk about different data types. So guys, you must be thinking now data types is like, very basics. We know what data types are there in Java. Some of you might be thinking this, but I'll also discuss few things which we generally don't pay attention to, which are actually important when it comes to Java programming, right? So data types is first thing which I'll talk about. Then few concept about classes and objects in Java, and then about the main method. So guys, main method actually is very important when it comes to interviews, because even when I have attended interviews, I have been asked question with respect to all the keywords which are there when we write our first hello world Java program, right? That's your public static void main method, right? So what all those keywords are about, why is it required, what will happen if I don't write, can I write any extra keyword there? So all these combinations, permutation combinations, we are going to discuss in this topic. And then I'll talk about the access modifiers. So access modifiers, my main focus will be to tell you that which all combinations of access modifiers are not permitted, should not be used, or is not a good programming practice, which all should be used. Okay, so this will be the aspect by which I'll be talking about access modifiers. So guys, I hope you find the session useful and helpful to you people. As I said, this will be helpful to those people who are learning Java programming or who have interest into it. Those who are very much, efficient enough or professional enough in Java programming can also stay tuned and listen if at all, I'm right. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. So I'll talk about data types first. Fine. Okay, there are a few statements that are said about Java programming. Let us see those statements. How can we validate those statements with respect to data types in Java? So it said that Java is a strongly typed programming language. Okay, why do we say that? Why is Java said a strongly typed programming language? Reason behind this is that whenever we write or define, you can say not define, declare any variable, okay, you have to define its type. Like in any other programming language, if suppose you have written a equals to 10, it won't be self-understood by JVM that a is 10. Now JVM is Java Virtual Machine, which I am referring. That's a complete environment which helps to execute your Java code, right? So a is equal to 10 if I write, JVM is not going to understand by default that a is, is an integer. Okay? It has to be written here int. Getting it? If I write b equals to hello, So by default, JVM is not going to understand that B is a string. It has to be made an object of string class. It has to be defined the type. If you don't do that, you will get compile time error. Right? This is why it is said that Java is a strongly typed programming language. You have to define the type of every variable which you are using in your Java code. Okay? Now, the next question which is there, I'll expect an answer from you people first. You can write just one or two word, whichever you feel is responsible as an answer for this question. So, second question is Java pure object-oriented programming language? Is Java a pure object-oriented programming language? Okay guys, I can see a lot of messages as chat says, you have a question. I will definitely take up your question. But let's wait for some time. Let me just give it my inputs first, then I'll take your inputs as well. So you can answer in the chat that, is Java a pure object-oriented programming language? Yes, it is. Nitesh Kumar, yes. Samir Kumar, yes. Saugata Rai, I'm sorry if I misspell your name. No. Okay. Atish, no. Pranuti, yes. Okay, so a lot of yes and no combinations I can see. Okay, OP Warrior, yes. Warrior, okay, nice. Gaurav Kumar, no. PG, you can write your full name here, no. Okay, now it's no. No is the correct answer. Got it. Now why? Why is Java not called, pure object-oriented programming language? Although we are using concept of classes, we are using objects, we are using all the object-oriented programming, concepts of inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, everything. So why is Java not a pure object-oriented programming language? Yes? Any answer for that? Okay, let me tell you. You can type your answers till then. Variables. Rakhi Ranga. Okay, variables. How come variables? Variables are there in other pure object-oriented programming languages also, right? If this is not, then there should be some strong reason because it is platform independent. Okay, so you mean to say platform, pure object-oriented languages should not be platform independent? That's what you meant? Grow with humanity. Okay, nice name. No idea. Okay, fine. Let me tell you now then. Okay, so why it said no? There are two reasons I'll tell you here. There are few more reasons to that as well. Okay, but that belongs to your advanced Java concept. So right now I'll stick to two reasons. Those two reasons are, one is that we are still dependent on the primitive data type concepts. That is, we still are using int, float, Boolean. Although there are classes defined for this in Java, like for int there is an integer wrapper class, it is called as. Okay. Similarly for float there is float wrapper class. Classes are defined for that, but we do use this sometimes, like when we deal with collections. But int, float, okay, Boolean, byte. So all these are still being used, right? That's first reason. If it is completely object-oriented programming language, that is pure object-oriented programming language, then they should not use this primitive data types. But it is still using. That's the first reason. Second reason is, which is not related to data type topic, but yeah, that's also one of the reason that we don't have the concept of multiple inheritance using classes in Java. Okay, that's the second reason, that is multiple inheritance using classes we cannot do in Java programming. So because of these two reasons, as of now, I can say that Java is not a pure object-oriented programming language. Guys, this is one of the very important question asked in interviews. As a fresher, you go anywhere to apply for interview, you will be asked this question. So you should have an answer to this. So these two reasons will be fair enough to answer this question. Okay. Now let me talk about the data types here. So I'll classify this under two headings: numeric data types and non-numeric data types. Okay. Now, numeric data types again further classified as integral data types and floating point data types. Why I have classified this under two headings, numeric data types and non-numeric? Because all the numeric data types can be positive numbers as well as negative numbers, okay? But non-numeric data types, there's no concept of positive or negative numbers. It's just that value, that's it, okay? That type. Numeric data types can be positive numbers and negative numbers both. Now coming to integral data types and floating point data types. So two different are there. Floating point data types are float and double. This many of you must be knowing also, but what exactly I'm going to talk, let us see that. Integral data types are int, right? Yes, byte long, Boolean. Boolean is not an integral data type. Okay, it comes under non-numeric data types, guys. Okay, so int, byte, short and long. These are the four integral data types. Now the major question comes here is when to use which data type. That's the biggest confusion we have, right? As a when we start with programming. So let me clear that doubt to you. Okay, you must be thinking, okay, the answer to this is that there is a range defined, right? For byte data type, there is a range defined, like 127 minus 127 to minus 128 to plus 127. Similarly, for short, the range is defined. For int, for long, all that range is defined. If the number falls in that range, let's use that variable. But will you be able to remember the range of int? Will you be able to remember the range for short or long? Do you remember? It's difficult, right? So if someone asks you what is the range of it, you can easily find it out. I'll do it for byte, okay? And also I'll tell you what are the application areas of these data types, where to use, which kind of programming if you are doing, where to use this data types, okay? So I'll talk about byte first. So byte actually takes 1 byte of space, memory space, that is your 8 bits, right? So 8 bits meaning I'll draw here like this to represent this 8 bits, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? Where the most significant bit, this part, this is called as your most significant bit. This is only used for representing positive and negative numbers, right? So it will be 0 and 1 only, but 1 for negative number and 0 for positive number. The remaining bits, the remaining 7 bits which are there, these are representation of a number, meaning this is 2 to the power 0, this is 2 to the power 1. This is how we represent in binary, we calculate, right, the range. Sorry. 1 second, I'll just erase this. Yeah. So the first most significant bit is reserved for deciding it's a positive or a negative number. Fine. The other bits are responsible for starting from 2 to the power 0, 4, 2 to the power 6, this is power 2 to the power 7, right? So this represents from number ranging from 2 to the power 7. Okay, now positive and negative both it will be there, right? So 2 to the power 7, the positive number, and 0 is included in the positive numbers itself. So it is 1 less than 2 to the power 7, and the negative number will be 2 to the power 7. Now you can calculate this also, and when you calculate this, yeah, so when you calculate this, it comes as 128 to 127. This is 1 less than this because 0 is included in the positive side. Sorry, in the negative side. Okay, so it is 1 less here. So this is how we calculate the range. Similarly, if I come to int, or we come to short. So short takes how much of space? 2 bytes. Int takes how much? 4 bytes. Right? So depending upon these itself, you can decide. Like 2 bytes meaning 16 bits. So it will be 2 to the power 0 to 2 to the power 15, and then 1 more bit for positive and negative numbers, right? That is the most significant bit. So the range for short will be from 2 to the power minus 2 to the power 15 to 2 to the power 15 minus 1. Getting it? So this is how we will calculate the range for these data types. And if you are dealing with the numbers in that range, then you can definitely use that particular data type. If I talk about the application of these, okay, so where will I use byte? So byte is used wherever you deal with stream of data, right? Meaning, if suppose I am reading data from a file, if I am reading or downloading data from networks, and there's some programming I have to do. So there, the data which we read is a stream of data, like one byte at a time, bits of data, right? So there, you can use this, byte data type to do programming there. Getting it? Then coming to short. So short is actually the short data type was used for dealing with processor, the older processors which we had to do programming there, and now those processors are like 8085 and all that, right? So those processors are not existing anywhere there. So there's no use of. That's the reason short data type is like rarely used in Java programming nowadays. So you can use, but that was the use of short data type there. Okay. Coming to int, so int is like most widely used data type, right? Like when we have to program, we generally try to put all the numbers in integer data type, like int data type, right? So the range for int, will you be able to remember what's the range of int? That if you have to go beyond that range, then let's take long, not take int. Difficult. If at all someone asks you to find out, you can use this method to find out for 4 bytes, right? So 4, 8 4s are 32 bits. So yes, that range will be your for int. How much byte will long take? Okay, yeah. Fine, I missed it here. So no issues. It is 8 bytes actually. Yeah, so long takes 8 bytes. Naman Bhandari, thanks for reminding. So this is 8 bytes here. Okay, so you can decide the range with this just bytes itself. Okay, just to give you a little bit idea that where to use int and where to use long. So long generally guys is used whenever you have to deal with like huge amount of data, like speed of light. You're writing program for speed of light. That's some huge billions of data, right? So that's the representation. That's the value which you have to represent. That huge value, if you have to represent, go with 8 bytes or generally use int bytes for our day-to-day programming. Okay, so that was the application areas where you can apply this integral data types. Now let me come to know some interesting facts about these. Okay, if I define, now you have to answer, pay attention to these questions, and let's try to learn these here by answering these questions. So if I define byte, okay, I think I'm writing it clear and big enough for you to read. So if I write byte here, b equals to 128. Will it throw any error or is it fine? Just now I told you that the range for byte is minus 128 to 127. But I am writing byte b equals to 128. It should throw error, correct? It will throw a compile time error because that is not in its range. And the error will be possible loss of precision. Possible loss of precision. Okay, and then further it will also write incompatible type. If you can put it in any browser, IDE and check this, incompatible type. Okay. If I now suppose if I write byte b equals to 127, any error? Range of this is minus 128 to 127. No error, right? It will work fine. Okay, no error. Now suppose I try to print, if I write system.out.println, and if I try to print here plus b, like I am incrementing b one time, will it print or will it throw error? Quickly answer. Compile time error. Error. Sneha Rani said error. Ask me. Okay, yes, I didn't get you. No error. No error. Okay, how no error? Just try to read the code. B is 127. I am incrementing first B and then I am printing it. That's the meaning of plus B. First increment, then print, then use. B plus meaning first use and then print. If I would have written here, I'll write that also. Okay, system.out.println B++. Now you tell me, which of these two statements will show error? The first one or the second one? One is wrong. One will no, throw error. Tell me which one. Or no error, both will not throw any error. Now you tell me. Error, 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 no error. Okay. Difficult to read all the names. So, fine. I could see minus 127 will be the answer. For the first one, this is Jayachandra Venkateshan. Correct, actually the answer is, let me tell you guys. So system.out.println, the second statement where I am printing the value of b first, will print b as 127 without any error. System.out.println, I am incrementing b first and then I am printing it. So incrementing b meaning it will be incremented to 128. If it is incremented to this, then it should throw error. But it will not throw error. It means it is not incremented to 128. What happens is it rounds off. Byte remains in that range itself. The range was minus 127. Here was the range, right? Sorry, minus 128 to 127. Right? So if I do 1 plus to 127, it will go this side to the negative number to minus 128. So the output will be minus 128. Getting it? Second no error, first error, Vishal Jain, correct. Actually, there is no error in any. Second no error and the first one error. So you can see here why I am saying no error here, because if it would have incremented to 128, then definitely there is an error. 128 is not included in byte. That's not byte value. But it is not incremented to 128, it is incremented to negative value, like it rounds off. You're getting my point? Like from 127 it will go to the negative number and then plus 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 again, you keep incrementing like that. Right? Like similarly, if I do minus minus b and b value is suppose minus 128, then in that case it will go to 127. It will round. It won't be like 127 ka plus will be 128 and it will throw error. No. So this is one small point you have to keep in mind, and this holds true for all data types. Okay? Not getting Samir Kumar Dash. Okay, I'll just quickly revise it once again. Okay? We have to talk a lot of things, guys. So just quickly I'll tell you what I said right now. So yeah, I'll just erase this. Okay. So what I said is b value is 127. I am doing here in second statement, let's see, I am printing b and then I am incrementing it. So this is first I am using it, then incrementing. That's the meaning of b plus plus. First use, then increment. So use meaning direct I am using before incrementing. So 127 will be the output here. Right? 127, and 127 is a valid byte value, so no issues, 127 will be printed. After printing, it is incrementing at the back end. Anyway, we are not using it, so doesn't make any difference. 127 will be the output. Here, plus plus b, meaning first I have to increment, then I have to print, then I have to make use of it. So if I increment 127, normally if I say 127 plus 1 should be 128. Right? 128 should be the output, and if 128 is the output, then this should throw an error. But that's not the case. It doesn't throw any error. Why it doesn't throw any error is because 127 of type byte, if it is incremented by 1, then it goes to minus 128. Okay? Okay, I'm not taking this into account right now. I'm talking about this. Okay, I'll erase this. 2 times you've written value of by. Okay, this I have deleted it. Okay, this was my first question, that's why it's written. Now the question is about this one. Okay, that was, yeah, correct. That was 2 examples. This was a different example. Okay, so this is what I said. So it will it will be in that range itself. It will increment itself in the range itself. Okay, it won't go out of the range. So the range of byte is minus 128 to 127, right? So it will be in that range itself. Similarly, it holds true for int also. It holds true for all other these data types, int, short, long. Whatever is their range, it remains in that. It won't go out of it, so it won't throw any error. It will successfully execute and print minus 128 as an output. You can write it in IDE and check also guys to just cross check this. Okay, if I write byte b equals to uh, suppose hello, definitely it should throw error, or will it convert to its ASCII value or something? No, it will throw error. Okay, although it is a string, it will throw error, and it happens in the char, but in byte doesn't happen. It will throw error saying that a compile time error saying incompatible type. This will be the error here also. Okay. Okay, Samir. Okay, we'll now, so talked about these. Coming to floating point data types, float and double. Again here no, we don't get an idea like where to use float and where to use double. Let me tell you quickly that how much space does this take. So I think this float and double, so 4 and 8, 4 bytes and 8 bytes. You can decide the range in this way itself. If you want 4 to 6 decimal places after the integer, the whole part, after decimal, you want 4 to 6 places of value, then you can use float. If you want more, then if you like 15 to 16 places after decimal is expected as an answer for you, then you can use double. Although the range, the number of bytes it takes differ, number of bytes define the range actually. Yes or no? Like if I am using, if I define a type, like if I write suppose int b equals to some long number like 1, 2, 3, 4, something, 6, 8, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, something like that. It is out of this range, right? I'll write L here. This again, you would have studied under literals. So if I write L, this becomes a long and it will successfully get converted to long data type and it will store. Now I'm talking about some small number, int b equals to 2. Now I could have used byte also for 2. Yes or no? But I have used int b equals to 2. Will it throw error? No, it won't throw error. No error here. But what is the loss? Loss is if I could have stored 2 in just 1 byte, unnecessarily I am wasting 4 bytes of memory there. This doesn't make much difference when you are writing small programs, but when you write larger programs, when real-time application you do programming, these things makes a difference. Okay, so intelligently select the data type. It's very important to optimize your code. It's very important to run the code successfully with less time complexity and space complexity, basically, not time. Okay. Now, coming to non-numeric data types. So in non-numeric data types, it's char and it's Boolean. Now, how many bytes char takes? Generally in C++ or C or other programming languages, it is only 1 byte. But in Java, it is 2 byte. In Java. Reason? See, now more number of bytes, more characters will be supported by that programming language. As simple as that. Now here there is no plus, negative or positive numbers, right? It's all positive things only, positive numbers only, when the ASCII values are all positive. Java uses Unicode characters, okay? And Unicode characters are far more or greater than, far more than your 256. If it is still 256, then you can use 1 byte to store all the characters. But it is more, then you need more number of bytes to store all the characters, right? To represent all the characters. So 2 bytes, data type for char is 2 bytes in Java. So 1. Sneha said 1, Kedar 1. What type? What about string data type? String is a class in Java. Okay? String is not a primitive data type. Okay? So when we talk about string data type, we create an object of string class. And here I am talking about all the primitive data types. So char, I said it takes 2 bytes. Why it takes 2 bytes? Because Java supports more number of characters compared to any other. Why? Because Unicode characters are supported by Java, and the number of characters supported by Java is quite larger than the number 256, more than 256 it is. If it is still 256, then 1 byte was enough, otherwise 2 byte. Coming to Boolean. Boolean is a, so char you understood, it takes 2 bytes. Okay. And what is the range for this? What's the range? And you can answer in the chat. I can just go through. Range for this. How will you decide? 2 bytes, 16 bits, right? So it should be 2 to the power 15. But as there's no negative numbers for this. So 2 to the power 15 plus 2 to the power 15. Whatever is the value. What will be the value? You can just quickly calculate. Okay, I'll just tell you. Do you have knowledge of blockchain? Okay, I'm talking about Java right now, guys. Let's have the relevant questions only. That will not deviate me also. Okay, so 65535 from 0 to 65535 is a range for char data type. Okay. Now, coming to the Boolean. What is the size for Boolean data type? Anybody has any idea? You can answer it here in the chat. I'll go through. Two to the power 30. Ask me is your name. Okay. Hi. Vibhuti Kumar 65536 for Boolean. Guys, the size for Boolean data type is not defined. It depends on the JVM, how much space it has to allocate. How much memory it has to be allocated for it. Okay, it's JVM dependent. Boolean data type consists of only 2 values, that is your true and false. Correct? The values we know, that is the range, true or false. Size is JVM dependent. How much space to allocate to store true and to store false is decided by JVM. Okay, so there's no size defined as such. Clear? Now, if I write here, you tell me its error will be there or no error. Boolean b equals to true. Yeah, correct. Divyanshu Rathod, no defined size for Boolean type. Okay, tell me this code, Boolean b equals to true is having an error or no? Yes, no, just quickly. Valid, no error. Don't be quick in answering. Guys, this is what happens in interviews, right? You are put up with a very simple code and you'll be like, huh, right, it is right, what's there, right? Don't be, don't hurry up in answering ever. Try to, if someone has asked some question, definitely there is a point to make in that question, right? So is that point which has to be made. You can see the capital letter for T. It's not allowed. Boolean B will be true. You cannot have capital letter here. Okay, it's only all small letters, true, false. Right? Yeah, so that was the error. No error. Okay, nobody could point out. Yes, the first letter cannot be capital letter. It's all small letters for true also and for false also. Okay, just keep that in mind. So that was all about the data types which I had to talk from my end about primitive data types. If you have any questions, you can quickly put it up and then I'll move ahead to the next topic. Okay, just a minute or two I'll give for some questions. So you can put up your questions here in the chat. I'll just go through it if there is any. It is case sensitive, yes, it is. Java is a case sensitive language, guys. Vishal Jain has asked. So yeah, Java is a case sensitive language. Any other question? Okay, Ajay Kumar has answered that T should be small. Correct, Ajay. I missed your chat, so yeah. Okay, so if there's no further questions at this point, you can keep up your questions for the end also. I'll move ahead to the next topic which I had to discuss. Okay. Vibhuti Kumar, how to C++. Okay, C++ guys, maybe some other coming sessions will be on C++ also, but today I'm talking about very basic concepts of Java. which are like for beginners, which will be beneficial for beginners, is what I'm talking. What is the difference between Boolean and float? Divyanshu Rathod. Boolean and float. Boolean is, you can see here, Boolean is a non-numeric data type first of all. It stores only two values, true and false. Float is completely different data type that stores numbers, that is decimal numbers basically. If you want this kind of like 2.6, 2.67, 3.156, this kind of numbers to be stored, we use float. Okay, up to 4 to 6 decimal places, numbers you want after decimal, then you can prefer float, else you can go for double. Okay, difference between float and double. Yeah, that's what. So float is a single precision data type and double is a double precision data type. Meaning is simple, guys. In simple terms, that's what I told you right now. That is, float takes just 4 bytes of space in memory. Depending, then you can decide where to use float and where to use double. This takes 8 bytes, and moreover, if you want only 4 to 6 decimal places, numbers after decimal, then you can go with float. If you want 14 to 16 numbers after decimal to be represented, if that kind of arithmetic calculation you are doing, then you can go with double. Okay, that's the basic difference. Okay, I'll move ahead to the next topic which I have to discuss. Okay, class and objects in Java. Okay, guys, you would have maybe encountered, if you have studied classes and objects, like the proper definition of a class. Wherever someone asks, even in interviews, we end up answering, okay, class is a blueprint of an object, or class is a generalization of object. Object is an instance of a class. This is a very fixed, well-defined answer which we give for classes and objects, right? But what exactly do you understand? No, I'm going to talk here conceptually. I'm not going to definitions or anything. Making your concept clear here so that I can go ahead and talk about public static void main method. That's the reason I have to discuss about this topic. So class and object, when I say, if I have defined here a class, suppose, I'll convert this to example also. So class, fruits, okay? Okay, let me take some realistic example. So I'll just erase this, sorry. A very fixed example which everywhere you will find. I'm going to take that only. Let's take that itself. Class student. Okay. When I say class student, what do you mean by? What does it refers to? Guys, in a simple English statement, we say, right, a class of people, a group of people. Okay, those class of people, they behave like that, or something like, okay, that is this class of a fruit that ripens very fast. We refer to that, right? This is a group of cars that that are automatic cars. So these kind of simple English statements we refer. So what do we mean there? When I say this group of people, this class of cars, it means I am saying that all the cars that belong to that class will have a similar property, right? That same concept is there in programming also. So if I say class student, meaning I'm talking about those students which are having some similar properties among them. Now those properties can be behavioral properties, or it can be related to their identity. If I say about cars, suppose, okay, if I have cars, if I have class car here, okay, class car, I'm talking about a group of cars which are automatic, right? They are not manual, gears are not there. So they have certain common property, that is they are automatic, meaning suppose now that property can be behavioral and identity related. Behavioral meaning they are all automatic cars, right? Identity related meaning the color of the car, the model name of the car. So it can be the model name, the color of the car, right? Now the behavioral properties are converted into methods having a return type and this kind of syntax. The identity related properties are converted into data types. Model name can be string, color can be also string, suppose. Getting it? I hope I am very clear here. Similarly, if I talk about class of students, and it means I am talking about that class of students who are having some properties similar. Now that property can be behavioral, property can be identity related. Identity related meaning the name of the student can be there, which can be of type string again. Behavioral property, if I talk, I can talk about, maybe enroll in a course. So enroll can be, or enroll in some department to study. So enroll can be the common behavior, right? Which can be which will be converted to a method. So this is how you can relate. So whenever you're given a problem statement, try to classify under these headings. Class, then what are their properties, what are behavioral properties, what are identity related properties, classify them into methods, convert them into variables, go ahead with the programming. Okay, so that was what I had to talk about classes and objects basically in Java. Okay, now okay, this was all about classes, excuse me for that. Objects is, now what is object here? Class, I talk a group of things with similar property, as simple as that. Now object is every specific instance, every specific thing in that class. When I say a group of cars, a class of cars, and in that group of car, in that class of car, 10 cars are there. It means 10 objects are there for that class. Getting it? One specific example of that group becomes your object. Right? When I talk about cars here, and if I write here car, okay, you can give, I'm very bad at the naming of, knowing the names of car models and all that. So I'll just write C1, C2 itself, okay? Maybe you can write Swift here, or you can write Baleno here, any name which you feel like. Okay, so Swift and Baleno, C1 and C2 are these two names. These are what? A type of a car which are having these properties. So these are objects of the class car. Okay, and how it is created in Java using new keyword. And then here it is about constructors. Okay, there is a whole lot of concept about constructors also, guys, which I may be talking maybe in the coming some session. In detail, I'll discuss about this. But as of now, class and object is what I'm talking about. Okay. Similarly, if I talk about student, so if I say, let's take my name itself. So Pragya, student Pragya. So Pragya is what? An object of student, right? So that way you can create similarly the objects. Now what happens at backend in memory is also important for you to know here. Okay. If I suppose talk about S1, when I write student S1 equals to new student, an object is created in Java. What is the meaning of it? What happens? What happened at the backend? That object is created. Let me tell you what happened exactly at the backend. What happened is, in your RAM, in computer RAM memory, S1 is allocated a address, is allocated a space. Okay, this is suppose the space. Some integer number will be there that will tell its address. But let us we will refer by S1, so let us know S1 only. That integer number is computer operating system task. We are not worried about that, what number is that. But it will be allocated some address. Then in that there will be these two values, name and okay, enroll is a method, sorry. So there will be, okay, I'll take one more, int roll number, so that you can understand properly. So two properties, identity related properties are there, that is two variables are there, roll number and name. So roll number and name will be stored here. So there will be one place for roll number and one place for name. Right now I have not allocated any value to this roll number and name, right? So default values will be allocated to it. Name is of type string, so null will be the default value, and roll number is of type int, so 0 will be the default value. Getting it? When you allocate value to it, that value will be stored. So this is what happens at the backend. Getting it? Similarly, if I create another student object S2, so this S2 will also be similarly allocated address space. It will have its own roll number and name, two fields there, some values there. Getting it? I hope this is very clear to you that what exactly happens in the memory at the backend. Now I'll come to the main method. Okay, so we'll try to talk here. This is very important. Even I have been asked, so many questions related to this main method, to straight questions with respect to this very simple, main method which is there in Java programming. Let me now ask you some questions and answer as well back so that you can have a, greater clarity. Okay, class A. This could be the smallest program in Java one could ever write. Yes or no? Smallest usable program basically. Otherwise, writing just a package name is also won't throw any error in Java. It will compile fine. But usable program, if I say this is the smallest one. Now, public, static, void, main, string, args, square bracket, inside system node out dot println. Talking about this statement, which is very important. If I write, okay, first question. If I write static public, will it throw error or is it fine? Changing the order of these access specifiers, will it throw error or not? You can write rhythm art, yes. No. Sank SANKX07. Okay, I cannot read your name properly. I'm sorry. So, no. We cannot write is what you said. Others? Quickly, guys, there are so many people here. Please respond to on the chat so that I can get an idea if you are actually listening. No error. Momal Hussain, error. Rhythm, it gives an error. Guys, there is no error with this. You can change the order of the access modifiers which are there. Okay, you can write public static, you can write static public. Okay, I could have executed this and shown on IDE also, but guys, nowadays IDEs are quite intelligent. They, as soon as I write this, it will tell you that there is an error or not. So there's no point in asking you a question. That's why I'm writing it here and trying to explain you what exactly it is. I have executed all single permutation combination here, so you can try after the session by yourself as well. So public static void main, you can write static public void main also. Second question, can I write static public void main string A1 in place of args, args in place of that? Can I write A1? Can I change its name? John Mary says it won't execute, public void comes first. Okay, then let's go to the IDE, guys, and let's see. This is what I said, right? Let me write the code here. System.out.println, and it prints great learning. I hope you all are having great learning here, right? Okay, if I change the order is what I asked you. So can I write public static? Okay, public static void main is a default, right? I asked you static public. Let me run and check. You can see no error. Is the screen visible, guys? Is the code which I am writing is visible to you? Yeah? Yes, it's error. Where is the error? It says it prints successfully great learning. Here you can see, right? At the down. No error. Either you write public static or static public, it won't throw any error. Similarly, here I have already changed it. So you write string args, also it won't throw any error. You can change the name of this. args in place of this, you can write any name, v1. Then also if you run this, it will run fine, it won't throw any error. You can see the output is there. Right? Okay, now coming to my next question. In place of array here, like in place of this square bracket, can I use anything else? Can I write it this way? String dot 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 b1. See guys, on ID is very easy to find out. If there is no red line here, it means there is no error. If there is a red line, meaning there is an error, right? So I will go back to the plain method where I was using this, so that you can use your brain and answer that what exactly error is, and then I can answer you as well. So what I'm saying now is that in place of this, can I write public static void main, and in the bracket can I write string 3 dots a1? Is it possible? It is possible, guys. This is what is a parameter string. Ours is a parameter to the main method, right? There's only one parameter to the main method. Here I'm also passing a parameter to the main method which is of type string, and the name of it is a1, and this 3 dots represent variable argument concept, var arg. Okay, variable argument concept. So you can pass string 3 dots a1 as well. I'll go to the IDE quickly and just show you. So you can see here it doesn't throw any error. Okay, so this is possible. Now okay, can you tell me why is this public required here? What will happen? Okay, it's L here. Sorry for the mistake, guys. It is PUBLIC, public. Okay. So is public required here? And if yes, why is it required? Answer to this can be that yeah, public is required before method if we can access that method from anywhere. Right? But where am I accessing main? I have only one class here. So am I accessing main from anywhere? No, right? There's only one class, one method. Where will I access that method? I am not accessing anywhere. So why do I need public here? Can I just eliminate this public? Okay, let's eliminate. Can we? You cannot, because main method is being accessed outside this class also. And where is that? That is your from JVM. Okay, so public is required here. Can we remove static? Why is static required here? So that it can be accessed without class name. Directly main method can be accessed, without object, right? Directly main method can be accessed without the object of a class A. Now why is that required? If I remove static, fine, I won't access main directly. I'll create an object of A and then access main method. Then can I remove static keyword? No, we cannot remove static keyword because this main method is being called by JVM. How will JVM understand that which class have you written the main method? Yes or no? That it will create an object of that class and then call main method. Because every time this class name is given by us users, developers. So static is also required. Okay. Main is not returning anything to JVM, so void is also required. Can I change the name of this method main here? Can I write something else? Can I write M1 in place of main? No, because this is fixed. The calling of main is done by JVM and it is pre-programmed. JVM is also software, right? And software is developed in such a way that it is pre-programmed. If at all you want to change the name of main, you have to change the code of JVM software itself. JVM itself. Okay, you can go inside the JVM, you can change the name for this main to be something else, M1, M2. Then you can use whatever you have changed, M1, M2. Getting it? But otherwise, if you cannot change in JVM, you cannot change it here also. You have to use MAIN with all small letters only. Okay. Okay, guys. As the time is short, so I would just now take a few questions from you people. Okay. So I am concluding the session here. So I have discussed to you people something related to data types, right? Some concepts which generally you won't find when you study any book or something. It all comes by practice, or when you write a code. We try to experiment with these permutation combinations of different arrangements different possibilities that could be there for a given code. Okay, that's what exactly we discussed with main method also, and I also gave you an insight into what classes and objects are. Coming sessions, more I'll be taking, guys, and I'll be talking about Java programming only entirely in the coming sessions also. But I'll be talking about these kind of construct itself from basics to advanced. So you can stay tuned to YouTube, the Great Learning channel, for more such sessions. Okay, you can ask few questions. Till then, I'll be happy to answer that. Am I audible? Because do you teach J-frames in IntelliJ? Okay, maybe in coming sessions you can have these topics as well. You will get to know as and when the sessions are put up on the YouTube channel of Great Learning. So, because I hope I have answered your question. What is constructor? John Mary is asking. So yeah, John Mary, maybe I'll take this question of yours in the coming sessions. Today we are short of time. So I'll definitely talk about constructors. There's a lot to talk about constructors in Java. Maybe coming sessions I will. About return and continue. Definitely. Definitely, I'll be. Thank you. I can, guys, I can take up these topics which you're asking questions in the coming sessions, because it's like not a very small thing that I can tell you in a single line. There are a whole lot of concept involved behind this. What's an abstract method? Okay, abstract method, Mohammed Hussain, just to answer in a single line, you cannot have implementation of abstract methods. It can be just declared. To implement that, you have to, inherit the class and override that method and provide its implementation. Which is the best platform for Java coding practice? You can use any IDE, Divyanshu. Divyanshu has stick to us from beginning to end. It's very, I'm very happy actually to see few folks who have been there throughout the session. So thank you all. Okay, which is best coding platform? So best coding platform, Divyanshu, can be like I would suggest any one, but I prefer IntelliJ, using that IDE for programming with all. There is less problems. It's more intelligent compared to any other IDE. It takes up the errors it throws, the way it throws errors, and debugging is very easy there. So you can go ahead if you want my opinion. Then that's it. Method overloading and method overriding. Purnima. Okay, I'll be taking up next session on YouTube, which is about object-oriented programming in Java itself. So you can stay tuned to that, Purnima. There I'll be covering method overloading and method overriding both. Okay. Anything else? Okay, guys. So it was really lovely talking to you people. If you remove brackets from main method, what if you have to declare an array? Who is this? Hemant Nikam. Okay. Okay, if you have to declare an array, what's the whole point? The variable argument concept is that it takes any argument, any number of argument. May it be anything, right? But there is a twist with arrays if it comes as an input while executing the code. We'll talk about it maybe in some coming classes. I can show you. Eclipse is best for Java. Naman Bhandari. Yes, choice is yours, guys. Whichever platform you feel comfortable, you can use it. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for such a lovely session. See you in the coming sessions going ahead.